Now, firstly, let's do some revision about what we have learned of the index law. Let's have a look at the first law we have learned. That is a to the power of m times a to the power of n. Okay, so when we have multiplication, alright, so if the question is a multiplication, what do we do for the power? We add the power, okay, so that is m plus n. Okay, m plus n. Now, this one, what we said is, please remember, if you have multiplication, and then for the power, you need to do the addition. Okay, you always do the lower level of the calculation. Okay, this is the first law we have explored. Alright, we call that multiplication powers law. And then, after that, we did the law called raising the power law. Okay, so if I have a to the power of m, and then raise another power to the power of n. So, according to the law, that is a to the power of mn. Which means, if you are doing the power, okay, and then you need to multiply the power. So, that is power, and then you need to do the multiplication of the power. So, for this hierarchy, that's why I said you need to remember that. If you can remember this, it's not very difficult. Okay? Now, let's quickly do some revision questions. Okay? We want you to have a look at x to the power of 2 times x to the power of 5. This is very easy. Now, I want you to write down the solution straight away. Or, you can tell me the solution straight away. That is x to the power of 7. Good. Because that is multiplication, we add the power. And also, we said, if you have x, that means 2 lots of x are multiplying. Now, if you have the bracket, okay, the answer will be, what is the answer? If you can do this one is not difficult. Actually, they are the same. Alright, the answer is x take away y to the power of 7. Okay, very good. Now, let's have a look at here. If you have so far you know that is x, y to the power of 7. Is that correct? Okay? Now, today, we're going to continue to explore. This one haven't finished yet. Now later, we have to finish this question. But so far, you know, xy to the power of 2 times xy to the power of 5 is xy to the power of 7. We just add the power and leave the base unchanged. Is that correct? Okay, good. Now, let's have a look at the first example. Okay, in your worksheets, we want everyone to have a look at the first one. Now, if that is AB to the power of 2, now I want you to write that into the expanded form. Expanded form. AB to the power of 2. What is expanded form? AB times AB. Okay, that is AB times AB. Okay, now, I want you to tell me, or think this way. AB times AB. What is AB? A times B. So that means A times B, and then times A times B. So, is that possible that I write like this? Alright, if I write nothing, that's still multiplication. That means A times B times A times B. It's the same thing. Okay? Now, and also we talk about the law. 4 times 3 and 3 times 4, are they equal? Yes. So, it's possible that I swap these two. So, if I write like A times A and B times B, are they equal?
Yeah.
Yes. Alright, just swap the order. Okay? So this is AB, this is AB. And also, this can be AB and AB. Now, how many A do you have? 2. So we write A to the power of 2 and B. to the power of 2. Okay? Alright, good. Now, we want everyone to continue. Please complete number 2 by yourself. Okay? So number 2 is AB to the power of 3. What is that equal to? Okay? All right. So if you have to the power of 3, that means you have 3 brackets. Okay, that's very good. And then they are all multiplication, so I can put all A together, all B together, because I can follow this law. Okay, so if they are multiplication, I can add the index. That's why we did this revision. Now, this is A, and B, B, B. So we have 3. Actually, you can see that is the index law. Right? Same base, and we have the power of 1. And then we have A to the power of 1 plus 1 plus 1. That's why it is 3. Okay? Alright. B is to the power of 3. Okay, now everyone, I want you to have a look at the pattern. From here to here, what is the pattern? Can you say that? AB to the power of 2 equals A squared, B squared. What did you do to the power? You raise the power to each term, is that correct? Okay, this is the same. This is AB to the power of 3, and then A to the power of 3, B to the power of 3, to each of the term. Okay, now let's have a look at the general. Alright, we want you to have a look at the general. Now in general, we have A, B to the power of n. Okay, now please do that by yourself first. Okay, now if that is AB to the power of n, how many AB do you have? N lots of. Good. So here you have n lots of AB. Good. Okay, n lots of the bracket. Now, if you have n lots of bracket, how many A do you have? Alright? They are always AB, 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 AB. You have n lots of. So you have n lots of A. And how many B do you have? Good. You have n lots of B. So you can see this law is not very difficult to think. Okay? We just write that differently. Alright, we write A together and B together. Just make that a little bit different. So, if we have n lots of A, that is A to the power of n, and B to the power of n. Okay? So, this is the third law. Okay? So, this law is called raising powers of the product. This is the product. Multiplication is the product. Okay? Alright. Raising the power of the product law. Right, A to the power of n and B to the power of n. Now you understand that, but the common mistakes is sometimes you forgot to raise the power to each of them. Okay, each of them. Now let's write some statement here. Now we want you to write that in word form. Okay, on the line. When raise a power to the product in the bracket. Okay. When raise a power to the product in the bracket. What do you do, everyone? You raise the power to each term inside the bracket. Good. Okay? We raise the power to each term inside inside the bracket. Okay. This is very important. Each is important. Okay. Some people forgot about each. You have to raise the power to each one inside. Okay? Because you have n lots of the bracket, you have n lots of each element here. Each of them. Alright? You always have n lots of. Okay. Now let's have a look at example. 2, we have 2a to the power of 3. Okay. Now I strongly recommend everyone write the procedures. Don't calculate in your mind. Okay? You will make some mistakes. So for this one you see, oh, that is a product. For the product law, I just raise the power to each of them. Okay? It's like expanding. So that is 2 to the power of 3. Don't forget this. You always forget raise the power to the number. 2 to the power of 3 and a to the power of 3. Okay. Now, for this question, we have to continue to finish 2 to the power of 3 because that is a number. Okay? So, 8 to the power of 3. Okay? 8 to the power of 3. Now for this question, this is very easy. Alright, so we just use the law straight away. Raise the power to each term. Okay, now this one. Let's have a look at example 2. We have negative 5b to the power of 3. Okay, negative 5b to the power of 3. Sorry? Okay. How can I write here? Now, he just said we have negative 5 to the power of 3 and then b to the power of 3. How can I write negative 5 to the power of 3? Oh, some people say same. Are they the same? Really?
They're the same. Oh, wait, no, they're the same. Unless there was an even number.
Hey, very good. So they are the same. So for this question, now you have to be very clear in your mind. Are they equal? Now, if you are not sure, please write the bracket. Okay? If you are not sure, write the bracket. But actually, they are the same. Okay? You can write negative 5 to the power of 3. And then b to the power of 3. Now we need to do the calculation. This is negative anyway because you have the odd number. Okay? Now, is that 15? No, this is negative 125. B to the power of 3. Okay? 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. It's not 15.
Wait,
okay?
how come it's negative in the bracket, then the 3 outside the bracket?
Because negative 5 is the first term. You have negative 5 times b.
Oh, okay.
So you raise the power to negative 5. Good.
Yeah.
Now, how about this question? Okay? Is that negative 5 to the power of 2 or negative 5 to the power of 2? Are they equal? No, this time they are not equal because it's even number. But for this question, I can write this into 5b to the power of 2. Is that correct?
Wait, how come that one would be negative and the other one? Because of power.
Because the power, this is the odd number.
Yeah.
A pair negative is a positive. A pair negative is positive.
Oh.
But you have single of 1.
I didn't know that.
That's why you have negative sign. But this one is an even number. So finally, you will get a positive answer. So the answer is 25 b squared. Now, if this is a negative, you can change it into positive, and then you do the calculation. That will be easier. Okay? So, that's why I want you to have a look at question D first. Okay? Question D first. We do question D first. If you know how to do question D, question C is easy. Okay? Now, negative 2, x to the power of 3 to the power of 4. Now you may think I have to do the negative, deal with the negative sign first. That's fine. Okay? Two to the power of 4 is 16. Hey, 16. It's not 8. Alright, now let's have a look at this question. This is to the power of 4. So I can write this straight away. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does anybody have the question why I have to put the bracket here? Oh, exactly. Can you explain? Okay, I'm going to explain this. Now, this term is x to the power of 3. Is that correct? Now, we have to raise the power to each term inside. So I raise the power to negative 2, which equals 2 to the power of 4. So I don't have to write negative sign. And then this term is x cubed. So I need to raise the power to the whole term. So how can I express the whole term? I use a bracket. Okay? Any other questions? That means I do not change anything inside the bracket. And this term to the power of 4. And then we continue to follow some other rules to finish that. 2 to the power of 4 is 16. Okay? And then x to the power of 3 to the power of 4 is
12.
Raising the power law, you need to do multiplication. And then this is x to the power of 12. Okay? Now, some people may say, I can work it out from here. So if you can work it out from here, you don't have to write this step. Okay? But I recommend you write this step just in case you make mistakes. Okay? Now let's do one more questions to practice. Example C. Okay. Now let's do this example C. xy squared to the power of 2. Okay, think about this is a product. The first term is x. The second term is y squared. So you need to raise the power to each term. Okay, look at your writing. Alright? So just raise the power to each term. And then you can have the answer x to the power of 2, y to the power of 4. Okay, now for those basic rules, alright, we know how to do that. Now what I want you to do is, let's have a look at question L on page 1. I want you to do question L first. Only this question, only one question, do this one. Okay? Question L on page 1. The last line, last question. Now, if you finish, we want you to have looked at correct. The answer is correct. And also, I understand he knows the final answer should be positive. Why? Because it's to the power of 4. Alright, even number. But during the writing, this is not correct. You can write either -2 to the power of 4. That is positive. Okay? But if you write this is -16. Because you only do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, and then you leave the negative sign. It's different. Okay? Or you just write 2 to the power of 4 straight away. They are equal. Okay? Alright. So I just remind everyone you're writing. Your procedure should be very correct. Okay, question 2A. Now try this question. Don't rush yourself. Just do one step by one step. What law do you have to use? Alright, you always do the product law first. Because that is, according to the bad math, you have to do the power first.
Can be.
Okay, now let's have a look. This question. For the first bracket, okay, -2 to the power of 2, we can write into the positive because it's positive anyway. And then a to the power of 4, b to the power of 2. You raise the power to each term. For the next one, remember you have to do -2 to the power of 3 because that is a negative and then that is an odd number. So a to the power of 6, b to the power of 6. Alright, you need to raise the power to each term. Okay. Now, what I recommend you is you do not do the 2 to the power of 2. Leave that. Do not leave that. Do the calculation. This is 4. This is -8. But you need to remember, everyone, here is multiplication, not take away. That's why I want you to put a bracket here. And then you do the number.